Family Services of Greater Houston is proud to honor 3 champions of caring: Tom Amonett, Bill Carter, and Brian Wimberly. Spanning 4 decades, their selfless leadership has been instrumental in helping hundreds of thousands of families gain confidence, increase independence, and rebuild their lives.
From the first time I was invited to be on the board, I approached it with it as an opportunity to give back to the community, to try to make a positive contribution in a way that was not part of my personal business.
What impressed me was the professionalism and the capabilities of our staff. I just felt they were life changers when they talked to people.
Family Service is unique in its focus on families.
In 1973, Brian Wimberly began his work with Family Services facing 2 big hurdles: reorganizing the makeup of the board to become one of support and financial commitment, and raising funds to build the agency's current office on Lillian Street.
I became, I guess we called it president of the board at one point. I remember that very well because right after I became president, our landlord decided they didn't want us any longer, and so we had to go out and raise the money for this building. We decided that we would have a fundraising campaign to raise the money to buy this property and build this building. Today, if you get asked to join a board, you know you're assuming a responsibility to help them financially. The board back then didn't feel that was their responsibility. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what the board consisted of. And if you're going to raise a dime, you need 100% support from your board. But if the board's not behind you, well, then the community's not going to be behind you. And I told the board that at a meeting, and I think we lost a few board members because I was very blunt about it. And today that would be normal. Back then it was a surprise.
Funds were raised and the Lillian office was successfully built and is still in use today. In 1979, Brian approached Bill Carter to become a board member.
I was working downtown, and Brian was working downtown, and we were old friends. Our 2 girls went to school together in the 1st grade, and Brian and I were in the same Indian princess tribe, which was a lot of fun. He asked me if I would be interested in becoming a board member at Family Services, and found out it was a United Way agency and that it was financially sound. They received a fair amount of funding from the United Way like they do today. I was happy to be involved. The programming was meaningful to me, doing family counseling and homemaker service.
Throughout the years, board meeting agendas included, as they do now, presentations from clients who talk about how Family Services changed their lives.
All of those presentations have been very meaningful in terms of the courage and spirit of the people who have been helped by the agency and who have had the courage to help themselves. It's always been inspiring to me.
Tom Amonett came to the Family Services Board in 1986. During his terms as board member and chairman, the integrity and accountability of the agency's counseling program became the focus. Under Tom's direction, Family Services received accreditation from the Joint Commission and has continued meeting the Commission's requirements for a total of more than 18 years. In fact, Family Services is one of a few nonprofit social service agencies in Houston to receive accreditation from the Joint Commission.
And I felt the organization had to become more responsible for the outcomes of what it was doing in providing particularly counseling and other services. The Joint Commission on Healthcare Organizations has a much more robust set of rules and requirements in order to get accredited. Those who provide funding and provide support for the agency, I think should take pride and comfort in the fact that the agency is prepared to stand behind the outcomes that it experiences with those who come to use its services. There's really only one place that really specializes and focuses on being helpful to the difficulties that arise for families of all kinds, and not just emotional and other issues, but financial issues and other things, and they do it on a financial basis that leaves no one out.
Through their years of work and devotion to helping the communities Family Services serves, Tom, Bill, and Brian have set the standard for agency leaders who follow.
You're kind of standing on the shoulders of giants, and you really have to keep this organization going. It's almost a responsibility to keep it relevant, keep it funded, and keep it doing good things in order for all the efforts that have gone on over the 100 years to be validated again.
Being a board member has been so meaningful to me. It's provided me an opportunity to participate in a part of our community I wouldn't normally have participated in, to help people who really need help.
I found that you always get back more than you give. It's pure and simple.
The organization is in good shape today and needs to continue to be fostered by the whole community in Houston, because it is a jewel in the crown of the community for what it's done for so many years.
Last year, more than 80,000 people came to Family Services in search of guidance and support to create better lives and to become self-reliant. Today, we thank Brian, Bill, and Tom for their combined years of commitment to Family Services. And it is through their devotion to the greater Houston community we are able to call them champions of caring.